Hi, this is Scott, the artist known as We've Forgotten. This is Ways We Forgot. This is my musing for day 19, I believe. And yeah, yesterday was a bit of a difficult day to get the posts out in the way that I had wanted to. I still got them out before midnight. Um, but I've been trying to put out 3 posts a day. If you've been following, you can see playlists made of the different days in the playlist section. But I find that, yeah, sometimes I just have a difficult time when we get to the season change and stuff starts getting a little bit darker and a little bit colder, and my body naturally sort of falls into a bit more of a hibernation mode, an introverted mode, and I get a little bit slower. And my mind is still trying to go very fast, but my body's like, no, this is the time that we start cultivating mass for, hibernation. And so I haven't been necessarily feeling that as much as I would usually, or doing the stuff that I want to be doing. I'm feeling that. And yeah, it's starting to get darker here in Washington. It's still very early portion of fall. We're, getting near the end of September. Today I believe is the 20th. And but usually I find that, yeah, the season changes both to fall and to summer are when I will feel the opposing body and mind sort of happen the most. In my mind, when I'm sort of making the switch to fall, a lot of the times is in this it sees where it wants to be, and it can be very logical in even trying to make this happen every day, trying to do this and that. But then my body starts to actually just fall to what naturally happens as there's less light and there's less activeness. And so I find that they're these opposing sort of ideas and forces. My mind is like, work, do the job, do the thing. And my body's like, sleep, do the rest, eat food, be inside. And there are things that I've done throughout, my life that I've found help to, I could say, combat, because I'm not really trying to fight it though, but integrate and be more calm and gentle with those needs. I found that naturally, yeah, like I was sort of saying, winter tends to be a bit more of my inner time. But there are ways that I can still be moving towards my goals and what I want to be doing. But yeah, I find that sometimes there's this sort of opposing concept. And then in the winter, when the winter ends, because eventually I just sort of integrate in a way that I'm not really being affected by it. And maybe I am being a little bit more body driven in the winter. But then when summer comes along and it starts to become spring, my mind starts to wake up and it goes, oh, you're not doing these things that the mind had been wanting to do. So I want to figure out ways to be better about that. And I know that, yeah, exercise is really helpful. Walking is helpful, but I feel like maybe I need to step up my amount of activeness. I need to be lifting some heavy things, really getting myself nice and tired and building up that energy, cultivating that energy. And then, yeah, this has been helpful, doing these musings and this art. But I also find that, yeah, I get sometimes into this space where I don't want to share as much in the winter either. So I'm really trying to push myself to not let that fall to the wayside, because I feel like the consistency is important, and knowing that I can make these videos, be it them using the cover song or acoustic song and the improvisation, if I keep up with those, that's, the consistency is really the important part. So I'm trying to make sure it's not too much work, it's really easy, the bar is low, and I can make sure to keep providing these videos. and realize that that's the way toward growth. Have some, really cool projects that are in the works. I'm not going to talk too much about them. There's some ideas that if you talk too much about your plans out into the world, that sometimes it becomes harder to make them happen. So I'm going to keep some of those a little bit under wraps for this moment, but know that there are some surprises on the way. And if you end up subscribing, you'll end up getting to follow along on those. What do you all sort of notice about yourselves, the people that are watching this video, as seasons change? Do you notice that you go into different modes? Do you find that there are different seasons that bring out different elements of yourself, of your creativity, of your practices? And what have you found when maybe those aren't all aligning? What have been some activities that help you realign and rebalance your desires and needs within that change of season and time? And like I was saying, for me, exercise has been really helpful. Making sure I'm getting proper nutrients can also be very helpful. And the omega fatty acids and the vitamin Ds and Bs, especially as I was vegetarian for a long time. So that can be really helpful. And there's just a few different things that I'll practice. Different forms of art. I really enjoy making music in the mornings, and I haven't been really doing that as often. I'm almost doing like a musical journal, writing a quick piece, and then just sort of seeing where that goes in the first 30 minutes to an hour. Has been something I can do, and usually around February I'll definitely be doing that, but it's something that is always really powerful when I make time for it. Excuse me. Morning pages have been another thing that's been helpful. And then, I'm sort of reforming the meditation practice. I've been using my audio-visual entrainment device, which is called the David Delight. And in the middle of the day, I've been going into theta waves, which is a slower brain wave. And I feel like that could be contributing to me feeling a bit more low energy in the middle of the day. So what I think I'm going to try to do to switch it up is do a theta practice more at the end of the day when I would be going into more of my dream state, into my sleep state, and then spending more time in more of an alpha state with the device, with the entrainment, brain entrainment, doing that during the beginning or the middle of the day, because I feel like I don't want to set a pattern where I go into sleep state or into lower, slower brain waves in the middle of the day, even though I feel like that is sort of where some of the magic happens. But maybe that's not the best time to get my body primed for being in that space. Those are some of my thoughts. Again, I'm really interested in what you all think and feel, and love getting comments, and thank you all for subscribing. We've definitely been starting to see an uptick, and some of the stories that have been posted have been being watched a lot more. People really love the flute playing, so more flute videos. I'm going to play a little improv flute next. And then, do a guitar cover song. I don't know what that's going to be today. Thanks for continuing to hang out with me as I am figuring this all out. And it's been great knowing that this exists for me to explore. Thank you for the support. Much love to you all. And I hope to see you on one of the next videos. Thanks for everything. Mwah.